In the opening scene, the roots of Maurice's desires are revealed in his childhood. He is skeptical about the commitment of marriage and says, "Perhaps I won't marry." Growing up in a feminine environment has also paved the way for him to discover a certain attraction to men. Years later, Maurice unexpectedly sees Ben at a museum. Ben is with his family, but Maurice is caught up in his suppressed desires. He does not reveal his real name, perhaps because he has taken a path different from the lesson Ben once taught him as a child. Maurice feels uneasy in Ben's presence, and by pretending not to recognize him, he rejects everything that culture and society had once dictated to him. In the church exit scene, a piece of classical music is played, drawn from Psalm 51 of the Old Testament, a prayer of repentance and a plea for forgiveness. Maurice, who has a religious background and is accustomed to such rituals, leaves the prayer unfinished because of Clive. Metaphorically, Clive's love pulls him away from religion, paving the way for a kind of fall. The moment of leaving the church is accompanied by a shift from light into shadow, precisely at 6 o'clock, when the clock's hand is at its lowest point, poised for descent. Greece, that corrupt utopia, serves as a cultural refuge for Clive, a place where Platonic ideas of male love inspire him. Yet his journey to this land with Maurice never comes to pass. When he finally sets foot among the ruins of Athens, the very place that was meant to embody the realization of his love, it instead becomes where he meets Anne, his future wife, and where his ideal dies. Clive leads Maurice deep into the forest, to the Goblin's house, his childhood hideout, a place that reminds him of his youth more than anywhere else. In a way, Clive is guiding Maurice into the most personal and deepest temple of his memories. But why the Goblin's house? Goblins are strange, playful, and secretive creatures. They resemble Clive and Maurice the most. This is the house of their forbidden love, yet it's locked, as if they are barred from entering, as if there is no way into the temple of their desires. At the same time, an old man passes by and disturbs their solitude. Intruders appear throughout the film, often as a traditional, meddlesome elder. Religion in the film acts as a fundamental force, casting a shadow over the story and generating constant tension. The teachings instilled in Maurice from childhood conflict with his true desires. He is told that marriage between a man and a woman is a sacred bond, that creation exists to fill the earth with children, and that this constitutes the glory and splendor of life. Cambridge University, with its Gothic architecture, cold and dark atmosphere, and scholastic rigor, resembles a medieval church, where a tension between Greek tradition and Christian doctrine is constantly at play. Greek tradition is often interpreted and understood through a Christian lens, filtered and censored. Maurice's forbidden love for Clive makes him rebellious and defiant, distancing him from both church and faith, ultimately leading to his expulsion from the university. Religion, as a controlling force, labels homosexuality as sinful temptation and seeks to suppress and erase it. But human desires are not something that can be cleansed, just as that painting on the sand was not erased by the ebb and flow of the tides. The first bond between Maurice and Clive is formed through music. Their initial meeting takes place while Clive is studying a work by Tchaikovsky, himself known to have had homosexual inclinations. Their love, unlike the Platonic ideal, is entirely physical. From playful physical gestures to the intertwining of hands, moments reminiscent of Bresson's cinema. They even develop a shared bodily language in their communication. It is Clive who first takes on the role of lover by expressing his affection for Maurice. Yet this dynamic soon reverses and he gradually comes to appear as the beloved. They retreat from society into nature, where they engage in intimacy. Their relationship, mirrored in the narrative structure, follows a pendular rhythm, constantly drifting apart and then coming together again. In social settings, the two are never shown in a two-shot. They are either physically distant, or if side by side, the frame is always filled by the presence of a third person. Even during Clive's wedding scene, the filmmaker avoids showing a direct gaze exchanged between them, since that moment does not mark the true endpoint of their relationship. Just as Maurice entered through the window in Cambridge to declare his love to Clive, the same thing happens again, but this time it is Scudder who comes through the window. With this setup, Scudder takes Clive's place for Maurice in exactly the same way as before. The arrest of Lord Risley is a key turning point in the story, the moment when Clive is confronted with the tangible consequences of his forbidden love and doubt begins to creep into his heart. When Clive reads about Risley's arrest in the newspaper, his face fades into that of a stranger, as if his will and determination dissolve into those of society and vanish. Out of fear of judgment, the loss of his social and family standing, and the stain of disgrace, he shuts his eyes to his true feelings. Before Risley's arrest, Maurice and Clive's relationship floated in a state of uncertainty, but afterward, it took a downward turn, pulling them farther and farther apart. In the first half of the 20th century, the term the Oscar Wilde problem was used as a euphemism to refer to homosexuals, a phrase rooted in the infamous 1895 trial of the celebrated writer Oscar Wilde. In the 1910s, the period in which the film is set, homosexuality was not only considered a crime, but also classified as a mental illness. In the film, Dr. Barry attempts to cure Maurice through hypnosis, but this effort not only fails, it leaves him even more distressed and unsettled. In the final conversation between Clive and Maurice, it seems their discussion reaches no resolution and remains unfinished. The scene cuts right in the middle of their exchange, as if a sea of unspoken words is left between them forever. Just like their love, their dialogue also remains incomplete. This abrupt cut is also a kind of refusal to show the final moment of their separation, as if in the end, they each leave something of themselves behind in the other forever. Although the film is Maurice's story, it ends with Clive. Framed within the window, he stares into eternity, at the love that has slipped away, at the redemption that will never come. He has killed his rabbit, killed his suppressed desires. He once told Maurice, "You really don't know what hell is like." He was right. The real hell is here. In the final shot, the fire of regret and longing burns through Clive's eyes. He has destroyed himself. His gaze will remain fixed behind that window forever. With such an ending, the film can be seen as a truly tragic work. Thanks for watching the video.